everybody, if something happens to you, I don't care if you question whether it was rape, maybe it wasn't, maybe it was, go to an emergency room and have a forensic exam and make a report. If it has nothing, if it just even crosses your mind, I wonder if that was something that shouldn't have happened.
Dr. Drew, can I give you a statistic though? Because here's the thing, in regard to college females, 80% of those rapes or sexual assaults go unreported, and 80%.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right, and 80% of the time, the offender, they know the offender. So
to me, that's incredible.
Because
and Emily,
of the
don't you agree with me?
And
I mean I know they're ashamed. I understand, but they should make a. I know we need to empower women to step up and get the data. This was 2 years ago.
They should at least get it. Because what will happen is if you have the data now and you change your mind later on, at least we have it down. We don't have to say who the alleged rapist was. You have proof to say that, you know what, there was an attack here. Without it, it's her word versus his, and that can be really complicated.
And then we get into victim shaming, and it's also complicated, Emily, I'm going to stay with you, because people, like I discussed in the last break, people distort the traumas in all kinds of ways.
All kinds of ways, absolutely. It could have happened, and it could also be that maybe something happened and it wasn't as traumatizing. It was always going to be traumatizing, but it wasn't the way that she reported it, right? We don't know. So having an accurate reading Having the accurate reading is definitely important, and it really helps her, though, because, again, if you're traumatized, what's going to happen? You're not going to say exactly what happened. No one does.
Karamo, I hear you questioning something there in the background. Tell me. What are you thinking?
Yeah, definitely, because I am one of those people that I support Jackie. When it comes to memory and it comes to trauma, there is always going to be inconsistencies depending on what you were focusing on in that moment.
Agree.
If she was focusing on one thing that was happening, she might not be able to remember everything else. And we're going here and we're shaming her. And the reason that people don't want to step up is because too many times when people do step up, campuses do not support them. People do not support them. You don't know the motives of your friends, and people turn on them, and women are scared. And I'm tired of them being re-victimized over and over again.
Wait,
what
but
campuses
you know what?
need to do is they need to start.
Emily, finish.
No, I'm not shaming her. Here, at the end of the day, here's what the problem is. She did not go to the police, and I understand that because you know what? I can't even imagine what it's like to be in her shoes. She went to a reporter. She didn't go to the police. She didn't go to do something about it. She went to the reporter who distorted the story for her.
But unfortunately, we live in a time where we believe that media will protect us. That's where we live. Everyone goes on social media, goes on Facebook when they want to tell something because they want it to get support.
She did go to the dean, though. She didn't just go straight to a reporter. She did go to the dean.
She did, and they gave her 3 options. They said that she could go and report it to the police. They could report it to the school, but she decided to do nothing. And you know what? I don't know what I would do in her shoes. I really don't, because it could be very traumatic for her to come out. This is already traumatic for her and her family. She has to relive it.
Spirit's gonna cast her vote in a second, and I will just say that we live in a time now when women feel much more comfortable at coming forward. What have we been reporting all week but the Cosby story, and that's continuing. So people are continuing to feel comfortable stepping up. So it is kind of a different time when, and of course, in the response to it, women have been shamed publicly. I mean, people have taken aim at poor Janice, and it's just, you know, you're right, Karamo. There's still a certain amount of shaming that goes on. Spirit, what say you?
You know, and I think that the hardest thing here, Dr. Drew, is what we have to remember is that when you talk about any kind of eyewitness testimony, no matter whether it's rape, something that's traumatic or not traumatic, the mind does not record like a tape recorder. So the details are not going to be consistent, especially when it's not, you know, you have to recall. Recall doesn't work in the same way as we say we're just going to hit the rewind button and then we're going to be able to speak about these things exactly as they've happened. And as years go by and as people come in and taint the testimony or the way that it's asked, or the way that it's presented. Memory is a very interesting thing, and so if we don't understand those things, we look at this poor young lady and we go, oh, you know what? Too much of your story doesn't make sense. It didn't happen.